Hello students, I am Arpita Ray, lecturer in Civil Engineering at Govt Polytechnic, Jaspur. Today I will take the last class on dams, which is of the subject Hydraulics and Irrigation Engineering. Today I will teach about spillways, which is the last section of this chapter. After the end of this lecture session, you will be able to know about the definition of the spillway, the necessity of the spillway and the types of spillway. So let's start with the definition of the spillway. So what is a spillway? So spillway is a structure which is constructed at the dam site to discharge safely the excess water from the upstream to the downstream when the water level rises above the normal pool level. Now what does that mean? So spillway is a structure. That structure can be within the dam body, or can be at one or both sides of the dam, or it can be completely separate from the dam. But the basic function of spillway is to discharge the excess water from this storage reservoir, that is from the upstream side to the downstream side when the water level rises above the normal pool level. Now this is the cross section of a dam which I have shown, and there are two levels which can be seen. What is one is a normal pool level, another is the maximum pool level. Now what is a normal pool level? So normal pool level is the maximum elevation or maximum height up to which the water can rise during normal conditions. And what is maximum pool level? So maximum pool level is the maximum elevation or height up to which the water can rise in worst design condition. Now what is worst design condition? Maybe during heavy rainfall and during flood conditions, the water can rise above the normal condition level. So that is the maximum pool level. But the dam is constructed in such a way that its capacity of holding water should be within this normal pool level. Otherwise, it may affect the safety and stability of the dam. For that purpose, the spillways are constructed in such a way that the crest is at the normal pool level, so that whenever the water will rise above the normal pool level, then the excess amount of water will be discharged from this upstream to the downstream side, that is back to the river, so that much amount of water will only be stored in the reservoir according to its maximum reservoir holding capacity. So this was the basic concept of the spillways. Now let's see what is the necessity of spillway, or why the spillways are constructed. So the first obvious reason for which the spillways are constructed is to discharge safely the excess amount of water from the reservoir, from the upstream to the downstream side. So basically it manages the water level in the reservoir, and that is one of the foremost function of the spillway. Now come to the second point, to prevent the failure by overturning. So I've already mentioned that the water is allowed to be stored up to the normal pool level, as I have shown in the previous slide. Why? What happens when it rises above that normal pool level? So dam is basically designed, or it is constructed according to a particular maximum reservoir holding capacity and for a particular fixed height. So when the water will rise above the normal pool level, then additional pressure will be exerted on the dam. So additional horizontal force will be exerted on the dam, and I've already taught in my last class that when the horizontal force is the disturbing force that can cause the overturning of the dam about the toe. So it can cause failure of the dam due to overturning also. So to prevent that, whenever the water will rise above the normal pool level, it is let to be discharged from back to the river, that is back to the downstream side. And come to the third point, to prevent the overtopping by surplus water. Now what is overtopping? So simply rising of the water over the top is called as overtopping of the water. Now I've already explained you that on the top of the dam or on the crest of the dam, roadways are provided. Okay, so that can be used for communication purpose, for the vehicular movement. It can be also used by the dam officials for maintenance and for inspection purpose. So what happens if the water will rise above the normal pool level, and in worst conditions when it overtops or it rises above the freeboard also, when it crosses the safety margin, then it may come over the top of the dam also. So that will affect the stability of the dam also. So therefore, to prevent the overtopping or rising of the water over the top or over the crest of the dam also, we have to let the excess amount of water back into the downstream side. Then come to the last point, to prevent the scouring and erosion at the downstream base and floor of the dam. So since the dams have a great height, so there is a big drop of elevation for which the water will pick up a very high velocity, or it will acquire a very high velocity. Why? Because the water possesses high potential energy on account of its high potential head, and when that will fall from such a height, then that will be converted into kinetic energy. Okay, so that water will exert a high impact force or a shock on the area where it is striking, that is on the downstream base. So that may cause, because of this high impact force, that may cause erosion or scouring. Erosion or scouring means nothing but removal of some portion, that is maybe silt, sand, soil from the portion where it is striking. Okay, so another purpose of construction of spillway is for the smooth flow of the water from the upstream to the downstream side without affecting the downstream base or the stability of the dam. So these were some of the points which explains the necessity of construction of spillway. Then let's come to see what are the types of spillway. So drop spillway, OG spillway, siphon spillway, chute or trough spillway, shaft spillway and side channel spillway. So we will discuss about each of them. The first of all come to drop spillway, or that is called as straight drop spillway. So in this type of spillway, the water freely drops down from the crest under the action of gravity. So you can see this is the picture. So you can see from the crest of the dam the water is falling freely, okay, under the influence of gravity only. Okay. Then the crest is provided with a nose so that the water jet may not strike the downstream face. You can see that the crest, that is the top portion of the dam, so that is extended by a projection, and that is called as the nose or lip. Okay, why it is provided? So that the water jet will not touch the downstream face of the dam, or it will fall at a distance away from the downstream base. To prevent the scouring at the downstream, an artificial pool or horizontal impervious apron is to be constructed at the place of waterfall. Now, what does that mean? Since the water is falling from such a great height, so I have already told that it will acquire a high velocity because the potential energy due to its great height or due to its high potential head will be converted to kinetic energy when it starts to fall, that it will acquire a high velocity, because of which it will have a great impact at the place where it is falling. So that may cause erosion and scouring, that is it will some portion of the place where it is striking will come out. Okay, apart from that, due to this high impact force, some vibration can cause at that place, and therefore it will result in the formation of cracks, and when cracks will be formed, then water may seep into it also. And I have already taught you, when water seeps, then seepage failure of the structure may take place, that is by piping or undermining failure, which I have taught you in my first class. So because of that, it will affect the stability of the dam. So what to prevent that? To prevent it, we can provide a impervious apron. You can see impervious floor. Okay, so this impervious means water cannot pass through this floor. So it is made up of concrete, because concrete is only strong enough to resist the eroding effect of this high velocity falling water. So that is one way. How can you prevent another way? So we can provide a basin which has still water in it. Okay, so that is called as water cushion. So there will be impact of this falling water against water only. So water acts as a shock absorber. It will reduce the impact. It will absorb the impact, and that helps in the energy dissipation or dispersion of the energy. So take the example of an athlete. Okay, when athlete is made to land over a sand or a heap of sand after a long jump, so that it will increase the time of impact and can reduce the effect, and he is prevented from getting injured. The same concept. So water is used, okay, so that it will disperse the energy. So therefore it is called as water cushion. Cushion is nothing but the sponge things which you put in over a sofa. Okay, so that helps in absorbing this shock. So these are the some way by which we can prevent the scouring and erosion. Now it is suitable for weirs or low dams. So of course when it will be higher dams of high huge height, then it will have more kinetic energy. So therefore it will be suitable. This type of spillways is suitable for weirs, that is of the small height, and also for low dams. Then see, this is a picture which shows a straight drop spillway. You can see water is falling freely under the influence of gravity, and you can see it is not touching the downstream face. It is falling at a distance from the downstream face in both the cases. Then come to the next type of spillway, that is OG spillway. Okay, it represents the S-shape curve, so it is called as OG spillway. If you search the meaning of OG, OG means nothing but S-shape. Okay, the English letter S-shape. That means there is a double curve. Okay, S. You can see the profile of this spillway is in the shape of S. Okay, there is double curve. There is a convex curve up to point T, and there is a concave curve up to point T. The point T is the point of tangency. So the question is, why such profile is given? Because it is improved form of straight drop spillway. So I have already mentioned what was the disadvantage of straight drop spillway. That is, it can cause erosion and scouring because of the high velocity of the falling water under gravity. So for that reason, the downstream profile of this spillway is modified and is made to coincide with the lower nap of the water jet. Now what is nap? Nap is nothing but the water, seat of water which is flowing over the crest. So this is called as nap. So this is the upper nap, this is the lower nap. You are acquainted with this word in your Waves and Notches chapter of this subject only. In your fluid part you must have studied. So to coincide with that lower nap, so it is formed in the in S. Apart from that, you can also see that after point T there is a concave curve, or there is a reverse curve. Why? To direct for the smooth direction of the water in the horizontal direction, so that it will reduce the impact force. So there will be no impact force on the downstream base. For this there is a reverse curve, or there is a concave curve. So there is no gap between the water and the spillway surface. You can see there is no gap between the water and the downstream face of the spillway. So it is mainly used in gravity dam. So such type of spillways are used in gravity dam, in arch dam, buttress dam, mostly for concrete dams. So this is an example of OG spillway in Vallayar Dam of Kerala, India. So this you can see that this is a S-shape curve. This is the OG spillway. This is another OG spillway, so where water is flowing over the downstream face. Then come to the next type of spillway, that is the siphon spillway. Now why it is called a siphon spillway? Because it consists of a siphon pipe and it works, acts on the principle of siphonic action. Now what is a siphon pipe? So siphon pipe is nothing but an inverted U-shaped pipe. You can see this is the inverted U-shaped pipe with the shorter upper limb and a longer lower limb. So this is the siphon pipe. So apart from this pipe, there is another part of this, that is the air vent pipe. So there is a air vent pipe which is attached to the top portion of the spillway, and this top portion of the spillway is top point, or the highest point, is called as crown of the siphon, or it is called as the summit of the siphon. Just like your mountain summit is there, similarly it has the highest point is called as the crown or summit of the siphon. So now what is this siphonic action? What is the mechanism of this type of spillway? So whenever the water is below normal pool level, then since this air vent pipe is kept at the normal pool level, so and water is below normal pool level, then what happens? Air will enter through this air vent pipe, and so this highest point will be having air. So there will be air lock. Okay, so there will be constriction in the pipe and water cannot flow through it. Why? Because whenever water, so the air will be occupying this space, so therefore water will not pass when the water is below normal pool level. But when under washed condition, when the water rises above the normal pool level, then water will start to enter through this air vent pipe. So this water is open to the atmosphere, so it is subjected to atmospheric pressure, whereas the pressure at this top point is lesser than the atmosphere pressure. We can consider that there is vacuum pressure here, or negative pressure. So there is a pressure difference between this point and the top point. So whenever there is a pressure difference, water will flow from high to low pressure. So for that reason, the atmosphere pressure will push the water through this point and up to this highest point. So there will be a suction pull, and once the water reaches this, then it will flow to the downstream end by the action of gravity. So basically the water which is flowing through this siphon pipe is due to two reasons. One is the differential pressure or the pressure difference, and another, after it reaches the top point, it will flow to the downstream end due to gravity. So due to gravitational force also. And what happens after some time, when the water level will fall again below the normal pool level, then the air will enter through it and there will be air lock in this zone, in this portion, and water will not flow through it. So siphonic action occurs only when the water level will rise above the normal pool level. Otherwise, air will enter into the top part and no flow of water takes place. So basically, a vent pipe is acting as a breaker of this siphonic action. So this siphon action takes place only when the water will be above normal pool level. So it's automatically operating spillway by this siphonic action. So another thing I want to explain is that, so you can see this inlet point is always below the normal pool level, is always submerged inside the water. Why? To prevent the entry of any floating debris into the pipe. So floating debris means your rubbish, man tomar abarjana kisi tomar patra, paper or any dala kichi branch, twigs, anything, so that may enter, that sort of bhasu thai upare because of the light weight. So that may enter into the pipe, that may choke the pipe and may affect the siphonic action. Therefore, to prevent that, it is always submerged inside the water. Similar, the outlet end is also submerged inside the water. Why? Because the air may enter through it. So to prevent the entry of air from either end also, it is submerged. So air can only enter through the air vent pipe, and that acts as a breaker of the siphonic action when the water is below the normal pool level. So whenever there will be space constriction, when we cannot construct the spillway away from the body, then we can use such siphon spillways. So this siphon pipe can be installed within the body of the dam, and generally this siphon pipe is made up of your reinforced concrete only. So this is a picture showing the siphon spillway. Then come to chute or trough spillway. Now what is a chute or trough? Chute or trough is nothing but a sloping rectangular open channel to discharge the surplus water from the reservoir to the same river on the downstream side. So simply it is a sloping rectangular open channel. Go to our sloping channel. Just you must have seen in your playgrounds or in your parks, the slides are there in which kids play. So slide just in the same way. So this is the same shape as that of that slides. So you can see this is the plan of the reservoir zone. So this is the reservoir. So whenever it is present, the crest of this chute spillway will be at the normal pool level. Whenever the water will rise above that normal pool level, then the excess amount will be let into this chute or this trough, and it will be carried back to the downstream side, that is back to the river. You can see this is the side view. Okay, so here this trough or chute spillway in the form just like a slide. So it is provided with a longitudinal slope of 1 in 4 or 1 in 6, and this is constructed with the help of precast RCC channels. So RCC slabs are used for the construction of this sloping open channel. So these are supported on the pillars. You can see pillars and so stamba thibo jora ki tumko taku dhari ki rakhe. Then it is suitable for earthen and rock-filled dams, because we need not to construct this within the body of the dam, because your non-rigid dams are less stable, so we cannot construct the spillways inside it. We can construct it away from the body of the dam also. So it is suitable for earthen and rock-filled dams. So this is the picture we saw chute spillway of Lean Brain Dam in Wales. It is another picture, chute spillway of Alqueva Dam of Portugal. Okay, just like a slide. So this is a chute spillway of Tehri Dam of India, and this is another chute spillway, and this water is where water is flowing over the trough or the chute. Then come to the next type of spillway, that is about the saft spillway. Now why it is called as saft spillway? Because safts are used. Now what is saft? Saft is nothing but a long narrow passage or long tunnel. Okay, some thudanga pari kemti tunnel thip. So here we use both vertical and horizontal safts. So this is how the shafts look, just long narrow passage. So these are constructed. So vertical shaft, which is constructed of masonry work and plain cement concrete or reinforced cement concrete on the bed of the reservoir just at the upstream side. So whenever there is space constriction, when we cannot construct the spillway away from the body of the dam, then what we can do, we can construct the shaft spillway on the river bed at the upstream side itself. So this is the bed of the river at the upstream side, that is the storage reservoir side. So here we construct the construct the vertical shaft. This is the inlet mouth of the vertical shaft, which is conical in shape or it is funnel shaped. Okay, just तुम पढ़ा परिका तार shape है. Okay, conical shape रे. Then water will enter through it and it is directed to this vertical shaft. Then again it will be connected with the horizontal shaft. The horizontal shaft can be either within the body of the dam in case of a gravity dam, or it can be constructed below the base, that is through the foundation in case of your non-rigid dams. So the water will be taken from the vertical shaft and horizontal shaft and back to the river. So this is how the mouth, that is the conical shaped mouth, and it is provided at the NPL, that is normal pool level. Whenever water will rise above that level, then it will be directed to the vertical shaft and it is connected with the horizontal shaft that will let the water back to the river either directly or through a tunnel. So another thing I want to say, to protect the entry of any floating debris, as I have mentioned already, floating debris are nothing but leaves, twigs or plastics. There is net protection and the jali ro protection diya hite so that will not enter or it will cause choke, otherwise it may cause choking of the pipe basically at the junction of this vertical and horizontal shaft. So this is the picture. It's a beautiful and wonderful view of this Saft spillway. You can see this is the inlet mouth. It is provided at the normal pool level. Whenever water will rise up to that level, then it automatically enters through this inlet mouth and it will be connected with the horizontal shaft and will be taken back to the river. So this is the Saft spillway of Monticello Dam, USA. Then come to the side channel spillway. So side channel, so it is completely separate from the main body of the dam. So therefore it is called a side channel, provided at the side of the dam, or it's provided at right angles to the dam. So you can see this is the dam, so it is constructed at right angles to the dam, therefore it is called a side channel spillway. So the crest of the spillway is kept at the normal pool level. Whenever the water will rise above the normal pool level, then it will enter through this spillway and it will let back to the downstream side. So it is recommended for those sites where other spillways are found unsuitable, because so it is mostly suitable for non-rigid dams like earthen dams. Why? Because in non-rigid dams we cannot construct the spillway within the body, because they are made up of your earthen materials and rockfill materials. They are not strong enough, so it may cause instability problems. So to prevent that, so this is constructed at the side of the dam instead of constructing through the body of the dam. And the side walls are constructed of your stone or brick masonry. So you can see the picture. So this is the side channels through which the water is flowing. So this is the example of side channel spillway. These are the side channels through which the water is flowing. The excess of water will be flowing. So these are the probable questions which may come in an exam. That is, what is spillway? Why spillway is provided in a dam? What are different types of spillways? Describe any one of the spillways with neat sketch. So if you have any queries or doubts, you may contact me through my WhatsApp or through my email ID. So this is my WhatsApp contact number and this is my email ID. Thank you.
झीटीए तो माटी आम सामाजिक और पारिवारिक जीवनर मूल कथाटी से माने आगकू गले आगकू जीव संसार आम झील मैंने आ पुओंकठू पछरे नाहंती एबे तो बदली गलानी समय बदली गलानी जुग से झील माननकू आहुरी आगकू नहीं आत्मनिर्भरशील और स्वावलंबी करने ओडिशा सरकार सुदक्षा योजना रे सरकारी आईटीआई माध्यम संपूर्ण मागणारे जोगई देउछंती सबु प्रकार उत्कृष्ट मानर वैषयिक ज्ञान कौशलर तालीम। एबे आम झील रहिबे सबुठू आगरे सबुठू उपरे।
मु सफल मु कुशली मु सुदक्षा।